Everyone called him a failure. Everyone laughed when he said he'd make it. But no one saw the hours he spent alone, bleeding and dreaming. This is a true story from Columbus, Ohio. Stay with me until the end. What he accomplished will make you rethink what broken really means. Meet Ethan Walker, 27. Once a promising high school athlete, now working as a barista. Everyone sees the cheerful smile, the helpful hands, but few notice the haunted eyes underneath. Ethan has one unwavering trait: resilience. He never quits, even when no one is watching. But he also has a flaw. He trusts too easily, letting people's opinions dictate his self-worth. We find him in a tiny downtown apartment, walls lined with faded posters of past victories and trophies gathering dust. On his kitchen counter sits a worn notebook, pages filled with training plans and scribbled goals. This notebook is sacred. It is the one thing no failure could ever take away. In the evenings, he wanders the quiet streets of Columbus, watching streetlights glimmer on wet pavement. He imagines himself crossing finish lines, standing proud while the world watches. Dreams only he can see. The way he folds his notebook and tucks it close, like a talisman, you can see that inside him, hope refuses to die. Ethan's life is ordinary. His closest friend, Marcus, often reminds him it's okay to settle. But Ethan dreams quietly. He works long shifts, serves coffee to strangers who'll never know his story. Every morning, he jogs along the river, small but deliberate steps, showing his quiet strength. A subtle warning lingers. Old teammates who once admired him now whisper about his wasted potential. Still, he smiles. Still, he hopes. On weekends, Ethan helps at a youth sports clinic, teaching kids the fundamentals he once mastered. Watching their eyes light up when they finally succeed, he feels the joy of guiding others, without recognition, without applause. These small victories are his secret fuel. Then it happens. A local sports tryout opens, and Ethan has a choice: play it safe or risk embarrassment. He chooses the human choice. He trains at dawn alone, despite the ridicule. He skips nights out. He bleeds on the track, and each day, people doubt him more. It is here that his first true battle begins, not against competitors, but against the voice that whispers, "You're not enough." He pushes through mornings where his body refuses to move. He sets small targets, run an extra lap, lift one more weight, and hits each one with stubborn determination. Each victory is quiet. No one applauds, no one sees. But inside, the fire grows. Months pass, and the stakes rise. A minor injury slows him. Marcus drifts away, convinced Ethan is chasing a lost dream. Old teammates laugh louder. Even his family questions his sanity. Yet, Ethan keeps showing up. Rain or shine, he's on the track at 5 a.m. Each run is a silent act of courage. Each missed opportunity is a lesson. He begins to teach himself not just how to run, but how to endure. The city streets of Columbus witness a man nobody believes in, fighting anyway. At night, he runs drills in the park, shadow boxing, imagining every possible competitor in front of him. Each strike is fueled by frustration, every step a refusal to give up. It's exhausting, it's lonely, but it's transformative. Even when his knees ache, even when his lungs burn, he remembers the promise he made to himself: in that notebook. This promise keeps him alive, keeps him fighting when every voice says he should quit. And then the collapse comes. A rival sabotages his chance to qualify. His only remaining supporter leaves town. His injury worsens. One night, Ethan sits alone in his apartment, staring at the notebook. Silence weighs heavy. The body aches. The heart aches. He questions everything. He falls asleep on the floor, tears staining his pillow. Dreams of victory twist into nightmares of failure. The apartment feels smaller, suffocating. He feels every doubt he ever had crash into him at once. But even at this low point, a tiny survival moment, he makes tea, breathes, and writes in his notebook. One sentence: I will not disappear. The next day, he drags himself to the track, step by step, pain by pain. Every moment is an act of survival, a defiance against the world that says he doesn't matter. Then Ethan learns something that shifts everything. The sabotage that seemed cruel was actually a mistake by someone else, an innocent error he misread as betrayal. And the injury, it had already healed slightly, unnoticed, during his silent training. What he thought destroyed him was actually preparing him for what came next. He realizes that the years of struggle were not wasted. The laughter, the doubt, the injury, all of it had forged a man stronger than anyone expected, including himself. The brokenness was not a curse. It was the forge of his resilience. Ethan decides to rebuild, slowly. He leaves behind toxic voices and doubt-filled relationships. He embraces pain as a teacher, not an enemy. Every run, every push, every bruise becomes a brick in the foundation of his new life. The hope is small, but real. The next tryout is coming, and this time he knows he is ready. Not for validation, but for himself. He starts mentoring kids again, but now with a new understanding. He teaches them about endurance, about trusting themselves, about believing when no one else does. And every time a child succeeds, Ethan smiles, knowing he has truly begun to heal. Now every morning feels different. He no longer runs to prove anyone wrong. He runs because he knows what it feels like to be invisible, and he refuses to let that silence define him. Each breath, each stride, each small victory whispers to him, "You survived, you became stronger." The uncomfortable truth: life doesn't hand out chances. People will doubt you. Pain will come, unfairly and relentlessly. The real truth: inside every broken moment lies unseen strength. The quiet battles you fight alone, they build the person you're meant to become. To anyone watching, if Ethan, forgotten and ridiculed, could rise from silence and doubt, you can rise from yours. Every scar, every failure, every lonely night, it is forging your strength. You are stronger than the world tells you. And sometimes, the people who abandon you were simply the ones who couldn't see your fire. That doesn't matter. What matters is that you never stop kindling it yourself. Your brokenness does not define you. Your perseverance does. Every step forward, no matter how small, is proof of life, proof of hope, proof that the impossible is possible. And remember this: the world doesn't owe you applause. It doesn't owe you recognition. But it does owe you one thing: your own belief. And if you hold that, nothing can stop you. And so the question remains: What could you achieve if you refused to let the world define your brokenness?